Hey YouTube, Yuwei from Strictly Broken here, and today I'm going to profile my premium Pale Moon deck in my Silverthorn deck profile that you guys all seem to love. I did say I was like a big fan of Pale Moon. I've played it ever since I started playing Vanguard. I really enjoyed Pale Moon, and yeah, I think premium Pale Moon is, although not the best Pale Moon deck right now, because of what it got in Phantasmal Steed, I think it actually has a lot of tools to be competitive. So yeah, also drop a like if you guys want to see my Nightmare Doll deck profiles for standard and premium. A lot of people actually PM me and they're like, I want to see a Nightmare Doll deck profile, and they left like a comment. I'm down to make one, so just let me know if you guys still want to see it. Yeah, I have those decks also as well. I think this deck's a little bit better though, so I'm going to profile it first today. And yeah, this is what I think if you're going to go play a competitive tournament, that your deck should revolve around something like this in premium right now for Pale Moon. So yeah, let's get started. I play Draw Starter. Pale Moon has a really powerful starter called Happiness Collector, but you really don't need to play Happiness Collector anymore because of Doreen, the new Grade 3 that came out. Happiness Collector goes to Soul, and it means Doreen will draw one less card off of it, so the draw of Happiness Collector is kind of mitigated by Doreen. And yeah, so yeah, you just play Draw Starter now. It's pretty good. In general, getting that extra card is always, not a bad thing. For Doreen, the new card that I think really made this deck viable in premium again. So Doreen is generic, and you guys know how good she is in standard. She makes standard Lucure. She's like what carries the deck because it creates those large standard hand sizes, which are abnormal for Excel decks. This card in premium works the same way. When the end of the turn hits, you de-stride first, and then you can use her skill. In premium, it's so easy to make a full board off of one card. So you will always be able to kind of proc her effect and draw 3 and add a copy of herself back to your hand. So that's like 4 cards off of the stride. The downside of this is obviously if you don't ride her, the deck gets a lot worse. But that's a trade-off that's really worth it, because when you ride her, it's like actually it feels so insane to draw that many cards just out of nowhere, and for like such little investment and such little, like it actually just doesn't matter what you're calling out, you'll always be able to draw 3. She also always guarantees you can re-ride with her skill to add another copy of herself. She basically, so you can always re-ride and get that extra Excel circle for the next Grade 3 turn. And you can also always have access to Ultimate Stride Fodder, and Dust is such a powerful card in Pale Moon. This card is just actually absolutely bonkers for the deck. The other Grade 3 we run is for Nightmare Doll Alice. She's not that great, but drawing cards with Doreen becomes kind of useless when you get to the late game, because you run the risk of legitimately like decking out. So you have Alice because you want to rewrite into Alice. After like a really powerful kill turn that your opponent presents, you'll usually be low on hand, scrambling for resources, and if you just kept an Alice, you can rewrite her, call an Alice out from your soul. Alice can use her skill to pop out a whole board of Magia units, basically call out Periton, which calls out Trapezis, which sucks Periton to call Periton, to call Trapezis, to suck Trapezis, to call Periton. And then you've made the multi-attack board. So one Alice can lead into that. So it's pretty important in that sense, and then you get that extra Excel column too from rewriting. So it's fairly good late game to ride Alice instead of Doreen. So you play those. You always want to play Grade 3s that can generate Excel circles, because that's more consistent. Having access to Harry in deck can give you access to some rear guards and some G guards, but I think having the consistency of always getting Excel from riding is what I want to be doing right now in premium. So that's it, 8 Grade 3s. On to Grade 2. 4 12Ks. 12K is so important, I can't stress this enough. Premium Pale Moon has so many powerful Grade 1 rear guards from old G series, and the downside of having to play those powerful cards is that you don't get that 10K shield from V series Grade 1s, and riding a 12K really makes up for that, because columns that beat you up in the Grade 2 game are frequently like 15K, 14K. So just being on the 12 allows you to give them a 5K to guard those attacks instead of a 10K, which if you were on a 9 or a 10 you would have to do. So yeah, this card's really important for that. Pale Moon has like a really weak Grade 2 in early game, and this card riding it really solidifies you and guarantees you can probably stride and play like an actual game plan in premium. So riding this is just that important. And then the other Grade 2s are Magia Grade 2s, 4 Peritons, and 4 Dual Horns. Periton is the standard one that everyone will play. Seeing 4 Dual Horns is kind of new, And I play Dual Horn because I don't play Harry Grade 3, so that's one 11k Magia unit that I won't be able to have. Dual Horn is an 11k Magia unit when called from Soul. It's also a Periton replacer when called out from a Magia ability. So when you do like restand combos, sometimes you'll actually always have to trade off one of your units and it'll have to get overplayed. So you can, now that you have access to 8 Peritons, you can lead off with using this and its pseudo Periton effect, and then go into real Periton so you can get more multi-attacks long term. And just in general, having Dual Horn as an 11k Magia and a grade 2 is just fairly good. It feels better than actually having real Harrys because they also have 5k shield in your hand. This is a must play, 100%. This is kind of like my new spice because I don't have access to Harry. Periton's such a broken card. One of the most broken Periton cards definitely ever printed. Onto, that's 12 grade 2s. Onto grade 1, this is the last Magia Rearguard in your main deck. PG, Hoopmaster, when you use the PG, if there is another copy of it in drop, you can counterblast 1, call something out to rear, gains 5k shield and intercept. So you can call out, the most important thing about this is you can call out heals and crits from your soul. And that would make this card a PG and a 20/25k shield. And that's really powerful for a PG, because PGs are 2-card guards to ensure perfect guard. And this card kind of makes it almost like a 1-card guard that ensures perfect guard and another perfect guard on like a rear guard column. So it's very efficient on hand, and just in general, it helps you transform one of your 12 blank shield value cards in your main deck into actual guard. So PG, super good, important second effect, super good. But the fact that it's Magia means you can call it and it will gain Harry stride powers from the passive Harry skill, so also really important. Card's really good. I don't play draw PGs because the deck has a lot of draw, and the draw PG sometimes it really kind of messes up what you want to be doing in Pale Moon late game. Like if you didn't soul charge it away and you hit the draw, sometimes it's like super awkward. I know draw PG, one huge advantage is you can G guard out the draw PG for perfect guard because it doesn't say it has to be called from hand. But I think the fact that this is Magia and that it has a skill that requires itself in drop more than makes up for the fact that you might want draw PG for that, and you just max out on this as a 4-of. The other grade 1s I play 4 Trapezist. The other broken G-era grade 1 unit on play, put something in the soul, call something out. That's just insane. I described the Periton combo with this earlier. This card with Peritons just make huge boards out of 1 card. And this card's just insane. I got the 4 special promo ones because they're actually purple, so it's not like yellow. Like the other one's not even actually purple, that one's actually just troll. 3 Betties. This is your ideal multi-attacker. So you have access to Alice, which is a multi-attacker, but like I said, it doesn't put out a Mega unit as the attacker, and it's really hard to boost it with a Mega unit because the PG is the only one. But this card, you can go Periton into it, and then it's boosting the Periton, and then you can immediately switch into a new Magia, and then go Periton, call something, suck up, and into Betty again. And then so you can basically make multi-attack loops with this card. Really good card. Really carries the multi-attack turns, and now in premium with the Harrys and extra Harrys and Dark Lord Princes, you can make Peritons hit numbers that attack over 1 defensive trigger. And so the deck kind of feels good again because you don't just die immediately to a V trigger. You don't need 4 because there is Alice. Like Alice is not a good restander, but early Betties, opponents when they hear you're going to take 10 multi-attacks this turn, they're going to take the early attacks. And so you don't have to attack with something strong for the earlier attacks. You can attack with something a bit weaker because they're usually incentivized to take the first few anyways. So yeah, you just need 3. Finally, I end with 2 stride fodders. Just to get consistency on the first stride. You have Doreen, which gives you consistency for future strides, but getting that first stride off is so important. If you ever whiff stride in premium, it's like an auto lose. So yeah, just having this is pretty important. No Harrys, but still a stride fodder. On to triggers. I play 7 V-Series crits. The suck up crit is quite good in Pale Moon because you can suck up, draw cards, and then when you go Periton the next turn, you can call it the suck up crit again and draw some more cards. So pretty good. Suck up crits are pretty valuable. This card is, and then you play 3 more. You just want you want the consistency of hitting 10k critical triggers and defensive 10k triggers, because once you hit a defensive 10k early game, if they're doing some really strong rush turn, you can basically end their rush, and it's so important to get that, because otherwise you know you're just gonna get blown up in the early game and then you're gonna die. Critical triggers are also just super important in this deck because the Dark Lord Princess Stride can really abuse critical triggers, because when you stack them on Van, she gets called to rear and she keeps that trigger effect. So she stays pretty, she just re-attacks with like 25, in the Excel circle she's 30 with crit. Your opponent feels really pressured early game to guard that card. So you want to have like a lot of crits in deck for the Dark Lord Princess plays. 1 countercharging stand, a lot of decks play 2. I cut it to 1 because the deck, like, countercharging is super nice. It sets up for strong dust turns, but the deck now can actually function really well without that much counterblast. You get already a lot of extra attacks for just that 1 counterblast, and it's not that needed. And I just want the consistency of that extra, like the card that was cut for the second stand before was an extra crit. I want the consistency of the crit, the consistency of the 10k offensive defensive trigger, and the 15k shield in hand. And I think it's just worth it cutting this to 1. If you lose it early game from like damage checking it, you just gotta play a bit differently because you don't have access to infinite counter charge anymore. 4 of this stand, absolutely the most broken stand in Pale Moon. Guarantees that you won't deck out, and you get thin enough that you just trigger check triple stand. You know, you can just re-attack and try to kill them. This card is really, really good. Something that I don't know if everyone knows, but you don't have to put a card in when you soul charge this card. So when you're like second, third stride and you have maybe like 20 cards left in deck, 15 cards left in deck, you don't have to put a card into soul. Usually your combo pieces are already in the soul. You don't need more. So when you soul charge this, you just put it back in the deck and then don't put anything else in. Super, super good. Make sure you can maybe get a 4th stride in. Very valuable card. And then finally 4 V heals. Once again, similar to crits, I want V damage checking triggers. I want to be able to gain 10k power, not 5, and so I try to maximize them. The counter charge is not that important because you have infinite counter charge with that 1 stand. If you have like Peritons and access to Trapezes, you can just recall out the stand, counter charge again. So yeah, 4 V heals. V heals are interesting in this deck because the G Guardians are so bad that you can just throw the V heal and it frequently matches the power of the G Guardians. But I play the G Guardians that do have more power than 20. So yeah. On to strides. For Dark Lord Princess, the new card from Premium Collection. She's really good. So with crits, if opponent no guards the Vanguard, and you trigger a crit, and then you move this into rear guard as an attacker with her effect, she gains the crit, keeps the crit. If you hit like multiple triggers, she'll be enormous, and they have to take, like, it just puts so much pressure on them if you get the stride first. Their hand might not even be good. Maybe they have to take these crit attacks. As soon as they don't hit that many defensives, this attack again on rear is like deadly. And then if you trigger a stand off the restand that her effect has, although kind of sacky, if you do hit a stand, she gets to go again for like large numbers. So very powerful card. The card I flip with her after first stride. So first stride you flip the Broken Harry, but after that you always flip a Trash Harry and stride the Broken Harry from your G zone, so that you can have more Harry names in total open in your G zone, so that your rear guards your Magia rear guards can hit 24, 25 off being a Magia and the Harry passive 3k. So yeah, this is just literally there for flip fodder for her. And sometimes you can make it. It doesn't really come up that often for me. 4 of this Harry. He is actually insane. So now that you can flip extra copies of this on the 3rd Harry stride, so this card enables you to make 3 Harry strides, and it enables you to get more Harry names. So by basically striding this off of Dark Lord Princess and then restriding it, you can get a 3rd copy of this in and use this effect a 3rd time. By the time you have 5, what's that number? That's 15 on the Periton. 15 plus 9 is 24. Plus boost. You're hitting like numbers that go past 1 defensive trigger, and specifically against like Luard, has 2 defensive triggers, 10k triggers. So this card becomes a lot better now with Dark Lord Princess. And yeah, and then also with Excel. So back then when you call out 3, you can only call out like basically boosters. But now that you have Excel, when you call out 3, you can call out 3 additional attacks. So this card is just a lot better now with Premium, and really very lethal card. It's a very lethal finisher in Premium. Next, I have 1 Progenitor Dragon. Rarely make it. If you get rushed and they make a 5-card field, this card can get like a lot of value, but it's like it's rarely made. 1 Dust. Dust turns are powerful in Pick Element. You have so many restands, so much multi-attacks, and Dust is like a super insane kill turn. The assumption for Dust turns is that you have to have like a lot of counterblast available and the counter charge ready to go. Then you can just like kill them instantly. Like it's really hard for them to survive a Dusted turn when you have like 10 plus attacks. 1 copy of Seabreeze. The Seabreeze turn in this deck is also insane because Doreen is a card. You can commit like a Doreen, a Periton, and a card here. After the Seabreeze turn, you will draw 2. You will get the other Doreen back to your hand, and that's it. Yeah, you just have a really strong pressure turn with Seabreeze. You have that Excel too, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. If you trigger a stand, 5, 6 attacks. Sometimes they can just die off of Seabreeze if you manage to trigger a crit early game. Seabreeze is super good, and specifically this deck. And then yeah, for G guards, like I said, nothing too special. 1 Raptome, 1 Colburn, 2 of this Pale Moon G guard. This is the only one that's Pale Moon specific that goes over 20. That's not locked to Harry name. Yeah, so this card's pretty good. You call it a heal with it, and it's 35k shield. You call it a crit, it's 30k shield. Colburn's good. You have 12 blanks that are not triggers. That don't have shield, sorry. So this card and Raptome can cash in your non-shield value cards in your hand into tangible shield. So, Raptome gets you a new card. This card gets you a lot more shield. So they're worth playing because of that alone. And yeah, overall not the best G guards, but what can you do? You don't have to carry grade 3. But yeah, that's the premium deck. If you guys want to see combos this deck can do, because Pale Moon is frequently a pretty complicated deck. If you guys want to see combos, leave a comment like what are some of the broken multi-attack combos you can do. I'd be happy to showcase them. Just let me know if that's content that you guys actually want to see. And yeah, this card really is really good for the deck. It was really powerful. It gets you so many draws, so much rewrite potential, and like just consistency. That's it for the video. Drop a like if you want to see the Nightmare Doll decks. And yeah, this is Yuwei from Strictly Broken. I'm signing off. Peace.